a lot. And so yeah, let's go and get into it. So first off, we have the bad juju. I've talked about this in the past, how it is slept on so hard by a lot of the community. But it's got the perk String of Curses. So kills refill the magazine, increase damage for a short duration, and that's going to stack up to 5 times and give you, I believe, up to like a 99 or 100% damage buff at times 5. It's crazy, crazy good. And it grants super energy based on the strength of String of Curses, and it also fires full auto. The Catalyst gives you an extended duration up to like 4 or 5 seconds, I think, of String of Curses. So if we go ahead and kind of just test this out, let me go ahead and use my super here, and I'll show you guys it. I mean, you can kind of get an idea of how high my super is going. I mean, this is a pretty good amount. I wonder if does this work in Tribute Hall? Because usually it goes by a little bit quicker than this. Anyway, yeah, there's that example. Moving up is the Trophy Hunter Sniper Rifle. This gun is really, really, really solid. I have Vorpal Weapon, triple tap, and yeah, it's a really, really solid gun. I have Boss Spec on here, which gives like 7% more damage, I think. So, Vorpal Weapon gives you 15, and Boss Spec I think gives you like 7, so you're going up to like 22%. That actually outdoes the damage nerf if you're facing bosses, of course. And yeah, so we go ahead and just test that out on him. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit less damage going into. As you can see, it's pretty fucking solid. And yeah, let's go back over to the primary slots. So let's talk about some other stuff I'm going to be using. I got this one recently, the Steel Feather Repeater with Feeding Frenzy multi-kill clip. This gun is really, really solid. I'm pretty sure everybody's heard it this at this point. I got Counterbalance stock on here. I'll go ahead and I'll show you guys this one. Just a really, 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 really solid. I'm still trying to like work on my aim because I'm not used to using auto rifles, as like weird as that sounds. But yeah, this gun, once you get like multi-kill clip and everything stacking up, I mean it does quite a bit of damage. And yeah, this gun's definitely a big beast in PvE for sure. And I'd actually highly recommend going for this. It's a really, really solid gun. We have the Patron of Lost Causes Scout Rifle here with full auto and explosive payload. It's a 200 rounds per minute, lightweight frame. I got backup mag on here to give it to 20 rounds. This thing is basically like a mini auto rifle. You could treat it as an auto rifle with full auto. You just kind of spray it, basically. I'm not really too accurate with this thing. I like full auto because I could just put my hand and, you know, just go full on the trigger. I don't have to tap anything. I don't know, I guess it is just personal preference. I know some people don't like full auto, but you could also go for rapid hit and kill clip on there, or rapid hit and explosive payloads, so yeah. Next up is, of course, the Izanagi's Burden. Everybody's seen this gun at this point. It does insane damage, even with the nerf to the reload speed. It's still going to really dump damage and be great against champions. It's not so good against bosses anymore, but it's not getting a 20% nerf, but as you can see, it's a really, really solid gun. And yeah, moving on is the the threat level. This has Grave Robber and Trench Barrel. I'm not the biggest fan of 1-2 punch, so I kind of prefer using Trench Barrel shotguns. It's a rapid fire frame. This is from the Scourge of the Past raid, and it's really, really solid. Usually you don't want to use this up against bosses. It's mainly against like majors and shit, so you can kind of get a judge. I mean, that's with empowered, but still, yeah. It's pretty solid. I love Trench Barrel. I just love the threat level. It's really, really nice. Another pulse rifle here, not another pulse rifle. Sacred Providence is from the Garno Salvation raid. I have rapid hit, kill clip, counterbalance stock, and it's a 4-round burst. Got a range masterwork on it. It's actually one of my favorite pulse rifles in the game. It's really stable. I'm on console, so stability does really matter. I have a PC too, but I kind of prefer playing on console. But yeah, it's just a really, really solid gun. It's a great pulse rifle for both PvP and PvE. This is one of those guns you can take into both activities and do well with. And yeah. Moving on is the Ace of Spades. I love this thing. I've had the catalyst for it pretty much since Shadowkeep first came out. I haven't used it too much, but I do really enjoy this gun. If I were to use an exotic hand cannon or just a hand cannon in general in PvE, this is probably my go-to. It's just a solid gun. Of course, it has the perk Memento Mori, where you reload after a kill, and you get fucking bonus damage on your bullets, unless if you swap anything like that. Anyway, So, moving on is the Imperative Sky Rifle, another Sky Rifle. I've got Subsidence or Subsistence and Explosive Payload. This is from the Garden, not Garden, Vex Offensive Activity. You can't even get this gun anymore, but yeah, it's just a really, really solid gun. This gun is more for like long range kind of encounters for me, just kind of sticking in the back. Since this gun has absolutely phenomenal range, you could really just kind of pick people off from a distance with this. And then go up close when you need ammo, of course. But yeah, even like up close, it does a damn good amount of damage. And yeah, I've always liked this gun. It's a really, really solid gun. And yeah, moving on to the energy category, we have the Oxygen SR3. I've talked about this before. This rifle is fantastic. It's got Dragonfly on it. And it's got the, I'm not even going to bother saying the perk name, but Dragonfly deals more damage based on the number of precision hits beforehand. This stacks up to 3 times. I'd highly recommend putting on Dragonfly spec. That's going to increase the radius and damage of your Dragonfly. So yeah, this thing is overall just a huge ad-slaying monster. It just does a lot of, I mean, you can't really see it too well here, but it does a lot of damage. The Dragonfly does a good amount of damage with that shit. So yeah, it's a really, really nice gun. I'd highly recommend going for it. We have the Loaded Question Fusion Rifle here. This is the Vanguard Pinnacle Fusion Rifle from Black Armory. Reservoir Burst is the perk on here. So when your battery is full, your next burst deals additional damage and causes enemies to explode. The explosion is really, really, really big, actually. It has auto-loading holster as well. I have enhanced rifle loaders. But yeah, you do that, you switch back to your normal gun. Wait 3.5 seconds, I think it is, for the reload time. Whip it back out. Hit fire. Boom. And got enemy dead. It's really good against majors. And yeah, Aikila shotgun. It's literally the trench barrel, or literally the threat level, but it is in the energy slots. The threat level is going to do a bit more damage because it's a kinetic weapon. But yeah, I really like this gun. I've always liked it. And yeah. Moving on, the Reckless Oracle Auto Rifle. This is auto-loading holster and kill clip. I'm still looking to get a better roll on this thing, but I don't know. I like it. It's really, really stable for a 720. That's something that I love about this gun. Put counterbalance stock on. I mean, this shit is stable as a motherfucker. This thing is a great auto. You see it being used across a lot of places. Plus, this is one of the only auto rifles in the game to have the Destiny 1 auto rifle reload animation. As you can see, the little clip. I'm sorry, where he is pulling the lever there or whatever. He's doing a little bit upwards, where the regular auto rifles, if I go and pull out how it is in D2. Let me go and pull this out. That's what it looks like normally, and then this is what it looks like, the D1 animation. Yeah, it's really, really cool. I really like that kind of cool feature. A sidearm, I never really use a sidearm, but Last Hope with Feeding Frenzy and Multi-Kill Clip, this is actually the first Last Hope I got this season. I know tons of people are spending a shitload going for this thing, but yeah, this thing's actually a complete monster. I was surprised to see that this thing was really, really good. I remember in a guy raid team I was in this gun's really, really good, and I was like, really? This gun? I didn't really bother using it because it's a sidearm. I was like, okay, that's a pretty good roll. But I never really used it because it's a sidearm, so I guess if I want to use a sidearm, there's that. You got the Sunshot Hand Cannon. Really like this thing. It's got exploding rounds, and it explodes enemies on death, and it has a really big explosion. I need the catalyst for this thing still. Hope I get it someday, but yeah, there's that. Moving on, we have the Ringing Nail Curated roll. In case if I want to use a bit of a lower RPM auto, I have Dragonfly Rampage on here of Dragonfly spec. I'm a big fan of Dragonfly, but yeah, basically Dragonfly, Rampage, good combo, nice combo, and yeah. Divinity, everybody knows the Divinity, right? Everybody knows this shit by now. You do, more damage, when you get a sustained amount of damage, you do like a big damage chunk on an enemy, but this is mainly for support, where you could put a nice big crit on him. Nice big crit spots for other people to use as nuggies, whatever. You could just hold it if you want to get that damage dump. It really doesn't do any damage at all. This is really meant to just be a support weapon. But yeah. And that's going to be it for the special category here, or the energy category. So let's go and move on to heavies. 21% Delirium. This gun is an absolute monster. So you got Overflow, which is picking up special or heavy ammo, is going to reload your weapon to beyond normal capacity. And you have Killing Tally, which increases the weapon or pulling out your ghost. And yeah, you can get up to quite a lot of ammo here. You get up to 386 ammo, and I think that's out without machine gun reserves, right? Yeah, I don't even have machine gun reserves, so I think you can get close to 400 with machine gun reserves. But yeah, it stacks up to 3 times. As you can see, you pull your ghost out, and it goes away. But it's a really, really solid gun, really solid machine gun for just overall ad slaying. And you can go and see how this does against majors here. I mean, it beasts against these guys. It shreds pretty much everything in its path. And yeah, next up, let's go ahead and switch over to one of these, I guess. 1000 Voices. This is just an overall... I actually got this recently, so I'm still kind of on the hype train for this thing, for me at least. But this gun is just a really, really solid heavy weapon to use. It's really versatile. You could use it against, you know, big groups of ads, or you can just go ahead and use it on a boss. It doesn't actually have a whole lot of DPS. But it does have a great just kind of upfront damage. Where this gun really shines is just kind of just straight up upfront damage, and it looks really cool. I mean, it feels really cool, and I mean, I wiped out. Actually, I didn't even intend to like wipe out a whole lot there, though. I mean, yeah. I only got a little bit on that acolyte there, so that's why it didn't do much damage. I don't even know why I have the edge was on me. Swords are getting a bit of a buff next season, so Black Talon, I got this Catalyst them recently. Black Talon, you kind of shoot like a projectile from your sword, void projectile, and every other powered sword kill, which now is going to use a sword of like energy. So it's going to be like a refilling energy, so it's going to be good for just getting ammo back and shit. So it's going to be a great way of getting your light attack ammo back. So this thing's going to be great for just general like fun and ad control, basically, for like having a lot of sword ammo up. So if I'm using my light attacks a lot, then, you know, once I'm kind of getting low on light attacks, I could start taking advantage of Tireless Blade. Yeah, it's a really, really cool sword there, and I'm going to be using it quite a bit. Of course, we have the famous Whisper of the Worm, aka the Black Spindle from Destiny 1, except just on steroids. We have Mulligan, and then we have higher base persistent damage. This thing absolutely dumps damage. That's the conversion of it. Rapidly landing 3 precision hits will refill the magazine. It used to be about a year ago they nerfed it almost, where it actually just generates it out of thin air, but now it generates it through your reserves. So you can actually run out of ammo on this thing compared to the before. So let's go ahead and just get a lot of damage on him. It does rely on you getting precision hits though. And yeah, killed him in 6 shots. It's a great damage dealer, 48,000 DPS at max, I think. And yeah, I think that's if you have Whispered Breathing on it, though I don't have that. Next up, we have the Wendigo Grenade Launcher. This is just a fantastic overall grenade launcher. It's got auto-loading holster, explosive light, picking up an orbital light increases the next grenade blast radius and damage. It's going to get this heavy ammo synth here. And yeah, it just does quite a bit. Does this even count? I don't think this does count, right? Really, really solid grenade launcher. It has blinding grenades on it too, so it's actually really good just for overall crowd control, even if you don't have, you know, any orbs of light consumed on this thing. It's just still a solid gun to use. And yeah. Moving on is the Storm of the Raven grenade launcher. I also really like this thing. I got spike grenades on it. I do have like snapshot and it's not a good roll, but I have spike grenades on here, and I got backup mag. Let's go and get some ammo for this thing. It only holds like 7 rounds. Okay. Okay, yeah, but it's really solid. Obviously, they're getting a 10% damage nerf, and this is actually getting less damage now, this archetype. So it's actually going to be, the Wendigo's going to be way, way better than this thing next season, I think. This is going to go to like rapid fire for him. I think it's going to become full auto as well, I think. But yeah, for rocket launchers, Pyroclastic Flow, this is actually the last one we're going to be talking about. Ambitious Assassin and Cluster Bomb. This is by far my favorite rocket launcher in this game. It just is absolutely nuts. It does tons of damage. It has a great blast radius to it. You get the 2 rounds if you kind of use it against ads. And yeah, it's just like a great rocket launcher to use. As you can see, there are 2 rounds. You can go and see how this thing is. It's got tracking on it too, which is really nice. As you can see, it does. I mean, it does a damn good amount of damage on it. I'm just gonna finish him off. Yeah, I mean, for a rocket launcher, it's really good. So, yeah, this thing's great. There's a lot of weapons that are actually great. If you like this video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. When you support the channel, it's greatly appreciated. And Peace out, my alien lovers.